Welcome, I'm Caren Baginski, and this is a restorative yoga class for emotional healing and release. And what that means is simply we're going to allow our thoughts and emotions to be here with us. We often resist or suppress emotions because it either doesn't feel safe or it doesn't feel safe for us to feel it or for other people to experience it. But now's the time for just you and me to feel all the feels. Because when we do, they can move through and we can move on. So we're going to need some props for this restorative yoga with props class. Gather 2 bolsters. I've got a round and a flat and 3 blankets. And let's start in side lying stretch. So you're going to get your 2 bolsters and stack them. If you don't have the round bolster, just place your blankets on top instead. And then place your bolsters across the middle of your mat. Now sit against the bolsters with your left hip to start. You're going to rise up and over, lying on your side. So take your arm to the other side of the bolsters, hold them in place, lift up a little bit with your hips so you can wedge your waist area into the middle of the props. And then extend your legs long, with the bottom leg behind and the top leg a little in front, like scissors. And then reach your arms in front of you, overhead with the top arm, holding either onto the wrists or the palms, anywhere it feels comfortable. Now take a moment to ensure that your shoulders and your hips are hovering above the floor. And if they're not, you'll want to build up the prop situation so that they are. You can close your eyes here and relax as best you can into your legs and your arms. In this restorative yoga pose, we're experiencing a stretch, whereas in most poses in restorative yoga, we don't stretch at all. So find middle ground here. A soft stretch, but still relaxing. Take one more breath in and breathe out. Now bend your knees and your elbows, curling inward toward the bolsters. Use your hands to gently push yourself up sideways. And as you do so, pay attention to all of the sensations that you're starting to notice in your body. This is waking up some of the armor that we carry around our heart, the ways in which we close in throughout our rib cage. We tighten, try not to feel. This is expanding that area. We're going to come around to the other side. So you could come to the other hip, or you could just turn around and do it that way. I'm going to come to the other side so that you can see from the front what it looks like. Lean up and over, wedging your waist. Then extend your legs. Top leg goes slightly in front. Reach your arm up overhead. Again, the hips and the shoulders are lifted off the floor. Finding some heaviness once you land in your position, and the head is completely relaxed on one upper arm. Close your eyes if you like. Throughout this class, there will be increasing opportunities for silence. So you can tune into how you're feeling, what's going on with you without any distractions. And that can be scary sometimes, so just know that I'm here with you. And this too shall pass. One of my favorite sayings that I use for myself whenever I feel like I'm stuck. Nothing stays the same. Not even our emotions. Start to transition out of this side, bending the elbows, bending the knees. Once your hips start to land back to the floor, slowly lift your heart. Pay close attention to how you feel. Any sensations, tingling, lightness, more space to breathe, whatever it is that you notice, welcome it. And let's move the round bolster or blankets off of the bottom bolster. Set that to the side as we transition into supported child's pose. Take your bolster lengthwise up one half of the mat and open up a blanket for your knees, some extra softness for your knees. Place that just at the edge of the bolster. You can also roll up the edge here. In a moment, you'll see why, because when you take your knees wide and the bolster is in front of you and you lower down, sometimes the ankles can get a little cranky, and this provides a little bit of lift here at the ankle area. This might be enough, lowering your chest, turning a cheek. But if you notice that your hips are quite high, your heart is quite low, then I recommend building up the props underneath you, creating a rectangle fold blanket, placing that right on top. All the information about blanket folds is in my restorative yoga book. Cozy yourself down, chest completely supported, cheeks supported, and arms long, elbows heavy on the mat, palms flat. When you're ready, close your eyes. Feel your body here like a container, tucked in and safe. Making space for whatever you're experiencing. Maybe it's been obvious lately, the emotions that you've been navigating. Maybe it's one dominant thing that's been ruling your experience, or several. Give all of this a space and a container to rest. Imagining that through every quiet exhale, you're recycling some of that tension that you've been holding down into the earth. Allowing the support of the earth to rise up to meet you. Knowing that you're not alone. You're supported. You are loved. Leaning into that, we'll rest here for a brief period of silence. Make your way out of supported child's pose by bringing attention to your fingers, your arms, and slowly walk those hands in toward you, lifting your head, turning your chin facing down. Press your heart up, lift your hips, walk your knees back gently, leaving the props as they are. Extend now the right leg back, tucking the toes under, straight back in line with the hip, and feel any sensations in the knees, the thighs, the toes. Do the same thing here to the left side. Opening that channel through the joints, finding a free flow of energy. Sit back on the heels to transition into Mountain Brook. So you'll take your bolster widthwise across the mat, and with both of your blankets, 2 blankets we're going to need to stack into rectangle folds. Place those at the other side of the mat. Find the last blanket, open it out to about the width of the mat, and then take the long side and roll it up into a long rolled blanket. And then place that toward the very far edge of the mat with about 4 inches or so, a hand's width of space in between these stacks. Then sit in between with your knees over top of the bolster. Now, because I have a round bolster with me, I'm actually going to use that bolster instead. If you just have the flat one, you can use that. Hook your knees over top and lie down so that the shoulder blades are supported by the blankets. Then the tops of the shoulders drip into the space in between onto the floor. The arms go wide into a T, palms face up, and then adjust the rolled blanket to the back of the neck. The chin is lifted up toward the ceiling. If this feels uncomfortable for your head here, you can instead bring it so that the chin is level with the forehead. With the heart open and free to experience and feel, close your eyes. And whatever is here with you, whether it feels like relaxation, peace, restlessness, or irritation, no matter what is here, just be with it like you would a very good friend, listening to them, supporting them, until they feel heard and seen. If it's tears, let them come. If it's anger, you could try bending your knees, planting your feet flat, having a little temper tantrum here with your feet on the floor. Whatever you need to do to allow that emotion to be here and move through. Just be present. Follow the cues of your body. You could even give some great big sighs out the mouth.
If this position felt vulnerable to you, that's okay and natural. And now let's balance it out and transition by bringing the knees in, rolling to a side. And pressing yourself up. We'll extend the legs long, but slide the bolster out. And kind of curl in onto yourself. You can use your flat bolster here, and you can bring the stack of those rectangle blankets as well. Curling in, letting your arms rest either on by your sides, down on the floor, tucked underneath the blankets, with a cheek here to the blankets, or finding that rolled blanket behind you, placing it across the bolster and letting your forehead rest there so your nose is down and you can breathe. The supported seated forward bend, just finding a moment to curl in, to soften your legs. And to balance out that openness to feeling with some comfort, like a hug. Feeling contained and safe again. Staying here for a short time in silence. Take one more full breath into the whole back body. Breathe it all out. Slide your hands to the floor if they're not there already, and press yourself up, taking the props off of the legs, setting them to the side. arrive in a seat with your hands together at your heart. A moment to honor the realized beings who have brought the knowledge of yoga to us. And then take your hands to your body into a hug, however that feels comfortable for you. You can close your eyes here and rest your head a little bit to one side as if you were receiving and being met with a deep embrace. Your own embrace. Know that the more that you make space to feel your emotions, the easier it will be to feel free, to allow them to move through, to feel more resilient to whatever life brings. Release your arms. You can open your eyes if they were closed. And see how you feel. Be gentle with yourself, especially if this was an emotional practice for you, no pun intended. I have lots more videos like this and other restorative yoga and yoga therapy practices on my website, CarenBaginski.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on new practices. Give this video a like and comment below if this was helpful. I'd love to create more practices like this for you if you enjoy them.